out there in the internet lands. My name is Jaimelyn Gray, and I am the host of You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. I totally forgot to say that last week because it has been just that long since I have done this show. So by about, I don't know, week 5 or 6, I should probably have this back to where it's supposed to be, but we will get there. I'm very excited today because one of my favorite Milwaukee theater artist people is with us today, Mr. Michael Unger of Skylight Music Theater, and we are going to talk about their production of Waitress. So I am going to bring him on right now and we will chat. Hello, good sir. How are you today?
I'm dandy. Thank you for that lovely intro, Jaimelyn, and thank you for doing this thing again.
Same thing again. Yes, it's been a hot second. Like I see you occasionally just around the towns, but we haven't seen you on this program for a bit. So thank you so much.
Happy to be back.
Yes. Thank you so much for having space in your schedule, because I know that you are one of the most busiest artist people that I know.
Well, I think we're all busy if we work in the arts, but yes.
Because we're all doing way too much to keep our companies afloat. But that's a whole other discussion for a whole other day. What we are here to talk about today is a show that I myself am very excited to see once I open my show, and then I can get into your show. And that's how our busy lives go. But can you, first of all, so we're going to talk about Waitress, but can you first of all tell me a little bit about Skylight for people who don't know about the company, who this might be the first time that they're coming across Skylight Music Theater?
Sure. So Skylight Music Theater is a Milwaukee staple on the art scene. It's been around for 65 years and in this building for about 32. I got here 5 years ago, just before the pandemic. So, in my 5 years here, a couple of those years were spent, wherever we go to ride out a pandemic, but still working, creating some online content and stuff. But anyway, we're sort of back to normal as it is, whatever that means, I guess, to us in the arts.
Wait.
And we're back at it.
And can I just say, I cannot believe it's been 5 years.
Oh, since I got here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's gone by pretty fast.
That is absurdity.
Yeah. So anyway, and I'm thrilled that, I've produced 15 shows here at Skylight with obviously lots of help from lots of other people. And we're on to, our next season, which is a very exciting one. But Skylight's been it's just a beautiful theater. We perform in the Cabot Theater, which is just as beautiful as any other theater I've ever seen anywhere. It's just a stunning place, and it's very intimate setting, so you really feel the emotions on stage. And it's a jaw-droppingly beautiful building to walk, or space to walk into. So anyway.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a beautiful space. It's classic. I would say that, when you think of theater, you think of a space like that, personally.
Yeah, it's modeled after an 18th century French opera house.
Yeah.
And they sort of recreated it here with trompe l'oeil, which is sort of trick the eye painting, and it's just a beautiful space. If you haven't seen it, come on by. Check it out.
You should definitely go and see it. And at the same time, you should probably go and see your production that opened this past weekend,
Yes.
which is Waitress, that opened October.
Yeah, when you come in the door, you should turn right and see our production, but also come back and turn left to see your production in the studio.
Yes, that's working right now. But we don't open until Saturday. I still have 48 hours left to make the magic happen. You are already making the magic happen. So tell me a little bit about this really, really great show, book by Jesse Nelson, and music and lyrics by Sarah Bareilles.
Yes, they are completely brilliant, both of them. And one thing I love about this show, I think it's one of the best contemporary musicals out there. And because it hits on such a high level in so many categories, the score is phenomenal. The story is great. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's touching. It's a story focused on female empowerment in the character of Jenna, who is a pie baker who is going through a rough patch in her life, and she doesn't think she has permission to demand more of life. And it's a critical lesson for all of us to learn, certainly her, that once some other options are presented to her and she can see her way through to fighting for what she wants, her life changes and she transforms in a beautiful way. And that impulse affects everyone around her as well. So it's one of those stories that is written so beautifully because all the main characters have these incredibly beautiful arcs and transformations. And it's based on a film from 2007 by Adrian Shelley. Adrian Shelley actually wrote it, directed it, played Dawn, one of the supporting characters,
Wow.
co-costume designed and co-set designed. And it's a brilliant film. It's such a great movie before Sarah Bareilles ever turned into a musical. And Adrian Shelley sadly died in a tragic, tragic death in her New York City apartment before she even knew the film was a hit, before it was released. She was killed in her apartment, murdered by a construction worker in 2006, and the film came out in 2007. Anyway, terrible story. There's a great documentary about her on HBO Max called Adrian.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the seeds are planted there, obviously, and without that, this would not be the musical that it is, but it is. And Sarah Bareilles and Jesse Nelson did such a beautiful job of translating it to the stage. And Sarah, of course, writing this incredible score with, such amazing songs. She Used to Be Mine. It's hit after hit after hit. What Bacon Can Do. And colorful characters. Like I said, it's so funny and it's so heartfelt. You will laugh, you will cry tears of sadness, tears of joy. It takes you on the whole journey. And we have a phenomenal cast, incredible cast. I'm really proud of the show. It's just great.
That's awesome. Who over there is responsible for choosing this one? Can you let us in on that one?
Well, it wouldn't take a rocket scientist or even a theater scientist or theater genius to want to do Waitress. There are a lot of shows we all want to do, but we can't get the rights. And the rights holders for this particular show, I mean, you can't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to do a musical." You have to, or a play. You have to apply for the rights through a licensing company that is the liaison to the authors. So MTI, Music Theater International, is one of the largest, well, maybe only 2 or 3 licensing houses around now, and they hold the rights for Waitress. And we have a relationship with them because we do a lot of musicals from their catalog. And I think what Skylight has been doing has been getting noticed. And they actually called Susan Varela. They called us and said, "Would you like to do Waitress?" And Susan was like, "You want to wait, like through the window of her office? You want to do Waitress?" I'm like, "Yes, of course. Just say yes. Just say yes." So there was a very limited time that it was available. It had to, I think, open by August of this year and be done by March of next year. There was a limited window that it was available, and they were releasing it to very few regional theaters before releasing it to the larger community of other theaters. So we got really lucky. They called us and they asked us, and we were very thrilled to say yes.
Yeah, I don't have any stories like that.
You will. You will. We don't have many, It happened with one other show. A different licensing house called us for another show. But anyway, yeah, and it actually was an anchor. It's by far the most complicated show we're doing this year because there are 43 fake pies that were created in our prop shop. There are 10 slices of real pie. The set is complicated. And so it's the most complicated show. And to start the season with that after a summer off is complicated, but it was the right show to start with because of the attention, because of the messaging, because of the excitement around it. It's selling out. Like literally, I think there are only 5 or 6 single tickets available for this Sunday. So it's selling really well. And again, it's a marvelous production, a fabulous cast. So don't miss it. Come see it.
Yeah, it feels like something that Milwaukee would really enjoy. It feels like a winner for this.
They have been so far. Audiences are crazy for the show. The standing ovation is so fast and immediate, and it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And it's the first of what we're calling our 65th blockbuster season. So every title this season, from Waitress to Oliver to Juliet and Romeo, that's not a mistake, Juliet and Romeo, not Romeo and Juliet, to Frankenstein to Sister Act, are huge titles that everyone knows, whether you know it in this form or not, the form we're doing it or not. So we have a season of great big titles, and it's been selling very well. And we hope to have, 4 more hits after this one.
Yeah, no, that's really, really, really exciting. That's great to hear. Just because, we've been saying it since pandemic, how it's been a struggle to get people in the seats to come back for the catharsis that we provide. And so that's really awesome to know that people are really digging that. I have friends of mine who use songs from Waitress for auditions and
Oh,
things because
tons. Yeah.
they're just that good. It's just that great. Yeah.
It's great music. It's great storytelling, and I mean, it's super smart. I mean, Sarah Bareilles is a genius, and she actually played the lead role on Broadway, and they made a film of the Broadway musical. That's one of the best translations from stage to film that I've seen. That came out, I think, late last year.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I did not catch that news or see
Yeah,
that.
and she's great in it. It's a great cast. In fact, the woman that plays Dawn, the role that Adrienne Shelley played in the movie, is actually starring in Prelude to a Kiss at the Rep right now. Caitlin Houlihan. So she's in the film of the Broadway version, but she's also in Milwaukee doing Prelude.
Wow, that's some kismet there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so people can go to smtmke.org for tickets and for any additional information on that to check out more info over there. When do you guys close? When do you guys close?
We
The
close the
27th.
27th.
The day after we close, because I never
Cool.
close on a Sunday. That's
I know.
I
You're like
I
that,
hate I
aren't
don't
you?
like closing on Sundays.
Okay.
It's a
I look
feeling.
forward to seeing your show. I can't wait to see it. Looks great so far.
Oh,
Peeked out on a couple of rehearsals.
speaking of epic, this is the In the Canyon is the largest show that we've ever done as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
so you've got two big shows happening at the Broadway Theater Center
That's how we
right
like
now.
it.
Yeah. What is there anything else that you want people to know about the show? Is there any secrets that you any secrets you can tell us?
Well, I gave away the number of fake pie secrets of 43,
Yes, yes,
so I guess
that's a
that was a
good little
spoiler a while
insider.
ago. It's just one of those feel-good musicals that is filled with great messages that can apply to every single one of us. None of us can do without this message.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I certainly am looking forward to seeing this when I can get in there. I thank you very much, sir, for coming on the show and
Thank you
spending
very
time with
much.
us. It's great to see your face in this little box, and I don't know. Come back anytime. I'm always interested in hearing what's happening over at Skylight because it's such different stuff than what we do at the
Yeah.
Constructivist. Except when you did Spring Awakening. Spring Awakening was like, Mel. So, see, that's one that I could
Oh,
bring out in
yeah.
10 years or so. Yeah.
Sorry. You can still do it.
If I mean, there's only like a handful of musicals that if I was going to do a musical and Spring Awakening, it just except for the size of it, that was a huge show as well. You guys are really good at that epic sort of looking product.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. We have big ambition here, and we,
Yeah.
build as best we can, with resources we have, and I think we've done pretty well.
I
So
think you
thank you.
have as well.
Appreciate that.
I'm happy to see all of your works. So thank you so much, sir. You have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
Good. You too. See you at the next thing.
Bye. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad that he had the space to come and talk to us today because like I said, yeah, I have people talking about Waitress in my little circle of my very, very tiny little small circle of friends. They have been talking about this show and how excited they are to see it. So I'm hoping to get in there soon. But I do now want to change a little bit of direction here, and I want to share some other doodads that are happening, other things that are happening right at this moment in time for in the community. If I can find my file, where is my file? Oh, window. Where is my file? There it is. I found it. Great. I'm going to share this one. Here we go, friends. Closing this weekend is She Loves Me over at Forte Theater Company. They do their stuff out a little bit in the suburbs in at the Sabre Center for the Performing Arts in Franklin, but it's only about a 12-minute drive from out of the city, so it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. So you can get yourselves over there to She Loves Me. So you need to go and see Waitress. You need to go and see Forte's show. There is a ton of stuff happening. You just need to make it happen. Happy opening to my friends over at Cabaret Milwaukee. I would love to be able to pronounce this show, but I forgot to ask Josh how to pronounce it. And so for me, it sounds like Frisch, Frey, Stark, True, a puppet history of the Milwaukee Turners. And it is a puppet show from what I understand. And Cabaret hasn't done a show in a hot second either. So this is really exciting for them for us in the community, for them to be back. So you're going to want to go and see this for a deep dive into all the history you never knew about your local favorite venue. When the first Turners arrived in 1848, they won their first elections. From abolition to women's suffrage to militant labor to the birth of modern socialism, the Milwaukee Turners have been at the front of America's most progressive movements. So you can go and check out this awesome puppet show of this particular style of puppets called Benraku, it looks like. I never knew that either. And so you can find Cabaret Milwaukee. They're on Facebook and Brown Paper Tickets. And I totally forgot to give you the location of Forte Theater Company is fortetheatrecompany.org for tickets to She Loves Me. And yes, and find Cabaret Milwaukee on Facebook and Brown Paper Tickets. And next we have, I know a little bit about this show. It's called In the Canyon. It's by Calamity West, who is a playwright based in Chicago. We are opening this Saturday, so 2 days from now, in 48 hours, we will have a show go. This is, as I said, it's an epic tale. It's a gripping narrative that explores the profound impacts of societal change. You see these people over 60 years, one family in particular, from 2007 to 2067, as they're navigating personal and societal upheavals. It's really a real contemporary piece, and that is focused on anywhere from a woman's right to choose to climate change. You can find those pieces in that piece. And so you're going to want to go to www.theconstructivists.org for that. For tickets for that show that I directed, and I think I'm going to try and get Josh on here next week, and we're going to talk a little bit about sort of political theater and political activism in the arts, and hopefully you can join us for that. Next, Milwaukee Chamber Theater does this series called Here to Play, which is behind the scenes first look thing where they so they go behind the scenes and you can meet people and have snacks. There's always snacks at Here to Play is what I'm told, and they're doing this at Food for Health, which is at 2007 North MLK Drive. This is for their upcoming production of Clyde's, which is right after In the Canyon in the Studio Theater at the Broadway Theater Center. They are right behind us. And that's coming up this Wednesday, October 16th. If you want to check that out, you can go to MilwaukeeChamberTheatre.org/Clyde's for that, to learn more about their Here to Play of Clyde's and that series. Finally, we've got, I just want to let you know a little bit about it being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's important to fight domestic violence, and we can do that together, as it says. So if you need to call the domestic abuse hotline, that is 800-799-SAFE. And October 17th, which is coming up in a week, is actually a National Day of Action. During Domestic Violence Awareness Month, everyone is encouraged to wear all things purple as a symbol of peace, courage, survival, honor, and personal dedication to domestic violence awareness. So make sure you remember that on October 17th for this month. And so that's what we have today. For other events in the Milwaukee theater community, as I said, I'm hoping next week that we can get Josh in here, and we'll talk about In the Canyon and his puppet show about the Turners, and we can learn more about what it takes to do some political theater, some intentional political theater. And so I hope that you will join us then. And I'm glad one of these days I will have my entire brain back, and this program will go off without a hitch. I will stop saying so much and all those pauses that I have the tendency to do. I don't know. I guess I'm just trying really, really hard not to swear, is really what that is I have such a potty mouth that it takes so much effort for me to stop that from happening. It just zits my brain. And so I hope to see you next week on You've Got a Thing.